Hey guys, welcome to another episode about MQTT. In previous episode I showed you how to access your MQTT broker programmatically using Python and paho library. Today we are going to repeat that process but using Java and paho. And this example is going to be slightly complicated, like everything with Java. With Java entire life it's more complicated. No, just kidding. With Java we actually have one additional step. We cannot include certificate authority certificate directly. We have to include that certificate in Java Keystore. Then we are going to load that Keystore in our code. And of course in this example I'm going to show you how to do all of that, how to include the Keystore and how to use encryption. But if you actually don't need any encryption, you could just neglect that part. So now I'm using Eclipse ID. That is my favorite ID for Java, but you could actually use any other ID that you like. And now I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to use Maven project because it's easier to include additional library. I'm going to create a simple Maven project. Going to make another folder, call it MQTT. Okay, next MQTT artifact AD MQTT. Rest is totally fine, and I'm going to click on finish. All right, I'm going to open this project, and first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to open my pom.xml. And in order to solve this error, go to this part and change last address to HTTP. All right. And now I'm going to add repositories. Okay. Repository. ID of my repository is going to be Eclipse paho repo. Okay. Now URL, and I'm going to type https :/repo.eclipse.org content repositories paho releases and /. And we need to add one more part, dependencies, dependency. Now we need to add group ID, and group ID is going to be org eclipse paho. Now artifact AD is going to be also org eclipse paho client.mqtt version 3, and one more line, and that is version, it's 1.2.0. and we are done for this part. I'm going to save this code. You see everything is fine. So with repositories and dependencies, I have included paho library into my project. And if you don't want to use Maven, you could go to this guy's website and you could download jar directly. Anyway, after this part is done, I'm going to open my project in browser. So I'm going to go inside MQTT directory, and in here I'm going to copy my certificate authority certificate like this. I'm going to refresh this part, and you see now we have our certificate authority certificate in our project. And now I'm going to create Java Keystore where we are going to store this certificate. Okay, in here I'm going to open my terminal session, And in here we are going to use key tool. Of course, I already have coded something like this. So Keystore, I'm going to call it my Keystore with extension of Java Keystore. We are going to import our certificate from file, and our file is CACRT, and we have to provide alias just CA for certificate authority. Okay, now I have to provide the password for my Keystore. I'm just going to type password, then once again. All right, trust this certificate. Yes, certificate was added to Keystore. So this part is done. Now we have our Keystore that we are going to use for our project. Okay, I don't need this folder anymore. Now go to source, main, Java, new class. And class is going to be main, public static void main, because I want this to be entry point. All right, just going to remove this part. And first I'm going to print something to the screen in order to see that everything works perfectly. Okay, I'm going to run it. And all right, we have our message printed. Okay. So first I'm going to create string topic, and we are going to deal with topic secret. All right. Now string message that we want to send when we publish, something like then we need integer QoS for quality of service. I'm going to set it to 2. You are probably going to check paho documentation for these codes, but 2 it's completely fine for this purpose. Then I want client ID. We are going to use client Donny. All right. And now we are going to create our client. So final MQTT client, call it client. I'm going to import this library. This is going to be new MQTT client, and in here we are going to provide a path to our broker. It's SSL because we are going to use SSL in this case, column twice / and now I'm going to type my local IP address 24, and we are going to provide port in this way because we are using security port. Next argument in here is client ID, and one more, it's object memory persistence, and I'm going to include this library, but first I have to solve typo, so it's memory persistence. All right, and I need to put this declaration into try catch statement. Let's do that. All right, now make some space in here because we are going to need it. Now I have to create SSL context, call it context, going to include this library. It's going to be SSL context get instance, and we are going to provide string SSL. I'm going to add this exception to existing catch close. Okay. Now we have to create Trust Manager factory. Call it TMF. Of course, I'm going to include this. Get instance Trust Manager factory, get default algorithm. Okay, this is fine. Next, it's Keystore. Now we are going to import Keystore that we just created. Call it Keystore. Import Keystore. Okay. Now our Keystore is going to be Keystore get instance JKS Java Keystore, exception to existing catch close, and of course Keystore load. We are going to load this from our local file. Now new file input stream. Now I'm going to provide the path to my Keystore, and that is in my local directory, my Keystore JKS, and we need to provide the password. But this password needs to be in form of char array. Of course, we have to import our file input stream library and add exception to existing catch close. Okay, now we are cool. Okay, next step is to use our Trust Manager factory to initialize our Keystore. So our Trust Manager factory, we are going to use init method, and we are going to provide our Keystore. And now we are going to initialize our context. Context init. First argument is going to be null. Second argument is going to be Trust Manager factory. So Trust Manager factory get Trust Manager. And third argument, new secure random. Of course, we need to include this. And semicolon at the end. Of course, another exception. And we're good to go. And of course, if you are not using any encryption, you are free to neglect this part. So now what we need to do, we need to create a MQTT connection option. Options. And I have typo. I'm going to change to MQTT connect options, and I'm going to use new keyword in order to create an instance of this object. All right, we need to use these options to set socket factory, and we are going to provide our context get socket factory. Now we have to provide username to our options. Set username client ID, and after username we have to provide password. Set password. Password is 4 zeros to char array. And I'm going to use one more option. Set clean session. Set to true. All right. So this part is going to be the same whether you publish or subscribe. Now, first thing that we are going to test, it's publishing part. And first we have to connect to our broker. So in this case, I'm just going to use client connect, and we have to provide options as argument. Now I'm just going to print something to the screen. We are connected. And now we have to create the MQTT message, call it mess. I'm going to include this into our project. So new MQTT message, and as argument we are going to provide the message get bytes. All right. And now we have to use this message in order to set quality of service for this communication. So I'm going to use mess set QoS, and we already have QoS variable. Now I'm going to use client object in order to publish this message. Publish. So first thing that we have to provide its topic where we want to publish. So we already have topic and we have message. And after that is done, I just want to disconnect and to end with this application. Client disconnect without any arguments and system exit with status 0. Okay. And now I'm going to open my terminal. Sudo systemctl restart mosquito service. I'm going to provide my password now. Everything is fine. And I'm going to use my MQTT Explorer in order to connect to my mosquito broker. So I'm going to use Mona in here. Mona. Everything is set properly. Okay. And in here I'm going to publish something to secret. No JSON, just raw message. Okay, we have a message in our secret topic. And finally I'm going to execute our Java code in order to see what is going to appear in this window. Okay, we are connected. Let's see what we have in MQTT Explorer. This is message from Java code. All right, we have everything. So our publishing code works just fine. Now we are going to proceed with subscribe example. So now I'm just going to delete everything up to this point. We don't need it. I'm going to change this message into okay, we are listening, that is totally fine. And in here we actually need one more line of code. We need client subscribe, and we are subscribing to topic, and I'm going to provide quality of service. And now this piece of code is going to work, but we don't have any way to react on messages that we are going to receive from our broker. For that reason, we need callback functions. And now I'm going to make some space in here, and I'm going to create MQTT callback, call it CB, new MQTT callback. Import callback, and we need to create callback functions now. Add unimplemented methods. Okay, we have 3 functions in here, and we are interested only in this message arrived for now. I'm going to remove this comment. And actually only thing that I want to print incoming messages in my terminal. So I'm going to do that in this way. First I'm going to create string received, then new string message, and that is message that we are going to receive. So with this message we are going to get payload, and we are going to decode it using UTF-8. Okay, and now I'm just going to print this to my terminal. And finally we are going to connect these callback functions with our client, with code client set callback to CB. Okay, all right, now I'm going to execute this piece of code. Let's see what we are going to get. We are listening, and now I'm going to open my MQTT Explorer, and I'm going to send some message to it. Okay. Publish. Yeah. This is message from MQTT Explorer. So guys, that's all for this episode. I hope that you have learned something interesting. So please like, subscribe, and see ya!